Hello, everybody. I do have the mic stand tonight. I hope I didn't blow anyone's ears out. If I did, let me give you a palate cleanser. If I didn't, I think this is still pretty appropriate to do. It is time to ring the bell. Wait, one more. Yes, it is time to ring the bell. Spam bells in the chat. Christopher Bell, your all-star winner of 2025. And I see, this I think is what a lot of people are thinking tonight. Michael Rocker saying Logano lost. We rejoice. Lots of bells in the chat everywhere I look. Just everywhere I look. Plenty of bells. Let me know out of 10 what you think of this thing. There's so many. Look at that. Look at that. And yes, bye-bye, Fox. You just got belled. Welcome on in, everybody. Let me know in the comments what you think of this race. Out of 10, rate it for me. Tell me what you think. Go off. Whether it's you don't like it, you like it, you don't like the gimmicks, you do like the gimmicks. It's a gimmick race, so it's not the end of the world, honestly. Though Fox could have done a better job at hiding it. We'll talk about all of that, but Christopher Bell has the right strategy, the right tires at the end of it, and he is able to outlast and out-duel, out-tire, out-everything Joey Logano for the victory. Logano dominating this night. Let's go through it, y'all. Non-points race, last weekend until November that we don't have a points race to be talking about on a Sunday afternoon or night or Saturday night, you name it. As I see him being elevated to victory lane now on my screen. I know mine is a little bit behind. But this race, the 2025 NASCAR All-Star Race, 250 laps, 5 cautions for 32 laps, 1 hour, 37 minutes, 56 seconds, 18 lead changes, about 0.8 of a second, the margin of victory between the 20 and the 22. Thank you. I appreciate all the super chats, and I will look at those once we talk a bit more about the race and the racing itself. Christopher Bell, your winner, leading 28 laps tonight. Joey Logano led 139, stays out on that last restart. I believe it was with about 13:10 roughly to go was when he got past. That was just all that Bell needed. He needed those 10 or so laps. Good short track racing against the 22, and he skirts on to victory. So Bell first, Logano second, Chastain third, Bowman fourth, Elliott fifth, sixth goes William Byron, Tyler Reddick in seventh, Kyle Busch eighth, ninth is Chase Briscoe, 10th Chris Buescher, Hocevar 11th, Hamlin in 12th, Gregson 13th, 14th Austin Dillon, 15th is Stenhouse, Blaney comes home 16th tonight, Barry in 17th, Cindric in 18th, 19th Nemechek, Harrison Burton 20th, Kyle Larson 21st, and then 2 guys out of this race. Larson 3 laps down, only one on track, not in the lead lap. Brad Keselowski 22nd, Daniel Suarez 23rd. Those are the only guys out of this race tonight. I'll say this, talking about the finish. There's going to be probably a lot of talk during the week about the promoter's yellow, all of that. It's the all-star race. If it's not gimmicked up, it's not being run. I don't see what's to get too upset about with that per se. I get that it's goofy, and it's a little, it's a stereotypical NASCAR move, but it's the all-star race. I don't see a point in really getting worked up and complaining over it. The only thing I had an issue with is they kept showing Michael Waltrip on the flag stand, right? And this is just me thinking like as a storyteller side of things. I would have loved it if they just didn't say when it was going to be. If they didn't pop him on screen at all, didn't do any of that, left the suspense for it, because we all knew it was coming. But overall, again, I think it's fairly harmless. Again, if that's my biggest gripe with the night, the racing itself for the most part was typical North Wilkesboro, very honestly reminiscent of the truck race. I didn't think out anything that bad compared to, other short track races. I thought it was better than most short tracks the next gens put on. There was the ability to pass through the race. It was just incredibly difficult. But it was nothing that we weren't expecting for those first 220 laps or whatever it was. And the tire disadvantage, the promoter's yellow, I think it did work out perfectly to shuffle the field up enough. And for the All-Star race, that's all I ask. Honestly, all I ask is you entertain me for the All-Star race. I don't need you to have the greatest racing known to man. I don't need you to have a 2024 spring Kansas race and finish. Just have something good to the end that I can go to bed tonight being like, I had a fun night. I didn't waste my Sunday night. And to be honest, that is, I think, the biggest compliment that you can give is this was not like a lot of other All-Star races where you could just snooze through it. It's kind of a waste. Like I was at the 2023 North Wilkesboro All-Star race when they brought the track back. The energy was insane, and the race itself was pretty much a dud. This was not. I really didn't think so. There was plenty of beating and banging through the night. There was a bump and run. There was a kind of slam, door slam, whatever, but nothing that was dirty by any means. It was again, a harmless, fun kind of night. And I have the poll up right now, and it's looking pretty positive. It looks like people were very positive with this race. And yeah, the broadcast, the Fox part of it. Yeah, it's Fox. There's not much more I could say about it, man. Fox is not going to be good. We knew that coming in. And for a Fox broadcast, honestly, again, it was nothing offensive. It was just more of the same. And for me, honestly, I don't even really judge the All-Star race based off the race itself. I judge it off more of the finish, because let's be honest, this is the race that nothing else matters, first or nothing. And that was it. That is the entire point of this race. Whether you look back at the Winston, the All-Star Challenge, the All-Star race, whatever you want to call it back in the day, the point is to win the race, to go all out. And on a broader talk and note, and speaking of the All-Star race, I feel like that's something that's kind of been missing in recent years from this race, and not just North Wilkesboro, but Texas. That weird year I was there at Bristol when they ran that. That was a kind of a boring, like a letdown, right? The other races at Charlotte, to me, there hasn't been like a really fun All-Star race to me since like 2009. I bet you could probably add in 2012 or 2014. 2018, the experiment was fun. And I was, talking to people about that. And that was fun in a vacuum. But there wasn't really like that, just go all out for the win. And that's what we got tonight. We got guys beating and banging. We got classic NASCAR at the end of this race. Watching the race with people who are like, who cares? And then at the end of it, it's like, holy crap, we're all invested. That's what I want from this race. And yeah, the opens are great. The open was a ton of fun tonight, because the open is always going to be that way. You got a bunch of desperate, a lot of times you have a lot of really inexperienced drivers that are going for those spots, and let's just hammer it on in there. And it was fun. Do I think that this is like, yes, short track racing is saved or anything like that? No, I don't. Do I like that the tires at least mattered in this and you could see it matter? Yes, I think it's a great visual to see. And I think you add some horsepower to it, like they're talking about doing for next year. I think that is absolutely something that can help with this and help with short track racing in general, with not only the All-Star race, but points racing. And I noticed something tonight, and I want to see if you guys did too. From the pre-race show through the race itself, they're still doing post-race, which, hang the banner. By the way, I should probably put the results down here. But before we do that, hang the banner. We have post-race. We have a post-race show with Fox going on top of this one. But did y'all notice they talked an awful lot from before the race during the race and now after the race of asking people a points race here and pushing the fact of a points race. Um, I want to put a poll out for y'all on this stream right now, and it's going to be a yay or not a Q&A. Come on, YouTube. A yay or a nay, a yes or no. Will North Wilkesboro be a points race next year? Because there's been talks about it. There have. So yes or no, will North Wilkesboro be a points race next year? Let's see what you got. Let's see what you guys think. Because honestly, I don't think they would drop that. I don't think they would like put that carrot out there if it wasn't on the table. And even if it's not next year, I do think it's coming soon. I really, really do. Yeah, I mean, see, I have it muted right now, right? So I don't hear what they're saying because I don't want to get copyrighted by Fox, and I don't want this stream getting taken down. I want to hang out with you guys and have a lot of fun. But they're talking an awful lot about a points race here. And with all the money North Carolina as a state put into North Wilkesboro, with a show like that tonight, which, let's be honest, outside of maybe last year's Martinsville race before the shenanigans, we haven't had, this kind of racing at short tracks. I'm just saying, I don't think it is, it is a small chance that we have a points race next year. They're talking about it too much. Let's be honest, we had fun. The perfect time to bring this one out.
This is fun. We're having fun.
It's a perfect time to bring all that out. I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if the All-Star race next year was maybe like back at Charlotte or the Rock or something like that. My idea was that you interchange years, right? You go 1 year Wilkesboro, 1 year Charlotte, and you back and forth it. Because I think Charlotte's going to be really good with this car. I said it in my video this past week. And then the other race will be interchanged, if they're at the Wilkesboro one for the All-Star race, they do Charlotte Oval or Roval for the playoff race. They go to the Charlotte Oval because I don't want the All-Star race at a road course. I was at the Clash at the Daytona road course too, and that just didn't do it for me outside of the finish, which I guess that is the point of that race too. But I would say that, then the other one, if you're doing Charlotte, you do Wilkesboro, you do Charlotte, and you back and forth it. I would like to have this one be a Carolinas race. You keep it within the area. You keep people at home, have a lot of fun. Sorry, I'm seeing people talk about fun. They're having fun, and that's what matters, man. So I that would be my idea with it all. I guess I'm looking at the poll, and it's pretty lopsided. Let me know in the chat why for yes and for no. Do you want a points race at Wilkesboro? Yeah, Dale Jr. download is going to be a lot of fun to listen to. I'll make sure I find the 1 10-minute clip of that to watch this week. And as I ain't watching the whole show anymore, it's just so watered down. But looking at the race itself, I mean, listen, I got a bunch of notes here, and I'll fill in the finishing order later. But there's a real energy with this place. Oh, there's Eric Almirola on the TV. Keep him away from Bubba Wallace. There's a real energy with this place that I don't think really any other place on the schedule has right now. They've managed to keep it going year 3, which 3 years seems to be that magic number. If you can get year 3 to have lots of energy, sell out the crowd, tons of fun with people at home and everyone talking about it on social media, you generally you earn your place onto the schedule. And I think they have earned their place on the schedule. I think the racing has gotten better each year when a lot of other places haven't, a lot of other points races haven't. And you know what? If this track, I think with 36 to 40 cars, maybe if they expand the field to 43 one day, like it's been talked about, you get a ton of cars out there. You get lap traffic that's holding up the leaders and making a big fuss for people, and the lead lap guys battling and stuff like that. I think you really could have a really fun points race out of this, So I would be I'd be all for points race. Let's do it. Why not? It would fully mend the wounds that NASCAR has made out of this place. We would have that olive branch to the past. There's so many things they're doing to move forward with NASCAR that I don't think it hurts anything to do it. If they have a points race, I don't think they should have the All-Star race just because I don't like oversaturating the schedule. I'd like to move it around. Hell, man, if SMI has an agreement at one point to get the finale, like at Las Vegas or something, why don't we have the All-Star race at Chicagoland? If you can't do it in the Carolinas, why don't we, or move to Charlotte again and have a full hometown week or speed week, basically for the whole industry at Charlotte. Like let's have some fun with this thing. If we're going to move on from Wilkesboro and if people think Wilkesboro has earned its spot in the Cup schedule. I mean, they talked, come on. 40 cars is fine. All right, this place raced with 41, 42, 43 cars. This place is bigger than Bristol. This place is bigger than Martinsville. We're fine with a full-ass field, man. Maybe we'll move to the Rock. The Rock had some pretty fun racing. I like what the Rock's been cooking. Hey, I'm bringing up Chicagoland just because I would want to have that happen. Speaking of Chicagoland, I got a text from somebody at the track. They're having the drag racing there, and Tony Stewart won. We're going to add this in the lightning round this week on NWP, which more than likely is going to be Thursday on Danny's channel. We're scheduling it now for Wednesday, but it's looking like based on, having a kid and all, we'll have to move it back a day or something like that. David, I think, will still be on. But I'll bring it up here too. Tony Stewart won the Top Fuel at Route 66 today, which is across the street from Chicagoland Speedway. He is the only driver to win at both Joliet tracks because he won at Chicagoland. I was there at Chicagoland twice when he won. Yes, baby is coming early. Tuesday is the date looking like. Could come earlier. Let's knock on wood that it's just the date it's supposed to be. But yes. Okay, so 37 cars started in 96. Yeah, but I'll say this, come on. We're going to have a 40-car field here. That is no problem. This place is like 0.6 of a mile or something like that. We're good. We are good. Let's see. No, so Tuesday at midnight. So it'll probably be the 21st. So we'll have a Wood Brothers kid. Instead of a Logano baby, a Wood Brothers kid. We'll keep stuff private mostly, but just figured I'd put that, or 5/8 of a mile. Okay, 0.66, 5/8. All right, yeah, close enough. Either way, a lot of crazy and fun stuff coming up. I'll talk a little bit about the promoters yellow, right? It's the All-Star race. I can't. I don't know what else I can say to that. I will say, Michael Waltrip was a little overboard with it. I'm going to say it now. I know a lot of people had fun with the dropped yellow flag. Like, I'm pretty sure that was on purpose, just for the fun of it. I did find it funny though, as Fox is zooming in on it, right? Doing a Fox thing. I did find it funny that the prime car of Chase Elliott actually like the prime car is the one that hit it. Because we all know that Prime is going to swipe the floor with Fox coming up, which I'm actually really excited for. I like that Michael Waltrip would fail a DUI. I'm betting he had a few tonight. Let's be honest here. It's Mikey. If you hear anything about him, guy probably had a few. But you know what? I'll say this: it produced a good finish. I don't want this in a points race. I'll say that. I want to say this now because the last time I said I really liked something or I had fun with something from the All-Star race, which was 2018, when they experimented with like the 400 horsepower package or whatever. They had like the lawnmower motors in there, whatever the hell it was. It was pretty damn low. They implemented it. I don't want this implemented. Let's keep this as just a fun gimmick for the gimmick race. I'll also say this: Josh Sims was on the air as Chris Myers is out in Indianapolis. Elevate this man. We don't need Chris Myers anymore. I'm sorry. it was great 20 years ago, and it was like, oh, we're here for the Daytona 500. But let him go out to Indy and say that they're at the 109th Daytona 500, like he's been saying all day. I like Josh Sims in this role. I think he is awesome. I want to see him stay in NASCAR. Oh, Fox, at least for NASCAR's sake, doesn't know what they have in this guy, because I think he's really, really good. And I would absolutely, yeah, I would absolutely want Sims to stay. I would love him to have the hosting role. Like, the guy knows his stuff, very professional, still has that good enthusiasm. I like him. And you add youth to a Fox broadcast that, let's be honest, could desperately use some youth and some, just energy, man. We need more energy in it. They're getting too old, as they would say on my favorite podcast, Purple Daily. Yeah, let's do it. 56,000 horsepower. Why the hell not? Let's just tie freaking rockets to it. Yeah, but I mean, the most part, I mean, I'm looking through most of this, and it's just standard chalk all-star stuff. I'll say this, Brad Keselowski, it sucks what happened, but I'm glad to see him run well. Right. I'm glad to see Brad run well. It's been a while, and it's been a dismal year. And I know this doesn't really translate to anything big. And Brad is he's not going to have a huge season turnaround because he was good in the gimmick race, but it is good to see RFK have that speed. On the other token of that, on the other end of that, for RFK, Ryan Preece, I think before that finish, had the moment of the I wouldn't say moment of the weekend, moment of the night, when he ran over the Choose V, as you would say, the Choose V, and he got moved back, cost him a shot in the All-Star race, as Noah Gragson won the fan vote, and you were not going to make your way back up really right at the end of it. And he goes into the garage after the Open, finds a big-ass cone, brings the cone onto pit road, and puts it on the wall right next to it to signify where the Choose V is and all that. I love that. That kind of pettiness, I applaud, and I want more of. I want to see more of that. Absolutely. Just love that stuff. We're talking Fox now. I'm seeing a lot of people talk Fox in the chat, and I'm seeing on my end, they just signed off for the final time this year. Thank God. Fox, people are probably coming in here like, come on, man, bitch about something, complain. I'll complain about Fox, man. They have so many issues. I'm hoping with Artie Kempner gone, maybe they can bring somebody in that'll kind of rejuvenate them a little bit. I know a lot of people said the last few weeks without him after Talladega, they felt something different. I don't know if it's like, a placebo effect of like, hey, where we took somebody out, here's what it looks like. I really didn't see too much of difference, other than there were a couple things like less zoned in shots and zoomed in shots, stuff like that. I really didn't see a huge difference. I'm just glad they're gone, man. Like, honestly, I used to loathe when Fox would leave the broadcast, and NASCAR would go to TNT. Not as much NBC, because I did like old NBC back in the day. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I did like it. Probably because I was like 7 or 8 at the time. But I used to be like, man, it's Dover. It means it's the last day with Fox. We're gonna have TNT with Bill Weber, Ralph Shaheen, Adam Alexander before he was good. But now I'm welcoming Prime to come in. There are so many issues we can go into detail with Fox. I could probably be on here for an hour and a half complaining about the Fox broadcasts. I'm not. I'm going to save it for a video. When do I have that? Tuesday. I'll save it for a Tuesday video. I like that. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, 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 goodbye. Yeah, CW over Fox. ESPN wasn't that bad. Yes, that's right. They had the GOAT Bestwick, at least. Well, thing is, I started watching in 05, so I got Bill Weber, and I didn't mind Bill Weber, but he was no Alan Bestwick. But man, I would say Fox up to about 2014, maybe 2015, you could add in, though it really started to kind of go downhill 14, 15. It was goated, man. That was some of the best broadcasting, period, in all of sports. 16, 17, 18, you could definitely tell it's kind of middle road, 19, 20-ish. But like everything past COVID has just been slush and dog crap. And I'm glad. I can't express enough. We're doing a pre-race show next week because I'm so excited to talk about the Coke 600 and Prime and all the new stuff they'll bring. Plus, we can talk about the Indy 500. If I can find a flight radar, I'll have that up on the screen during the pre-race to show where Kyle Larson is at if he doesn't crash out. I will be honest. I think Kyle Larson, like, maybe I'll make it a prediction that he crashes out this week on NWP. I feel like he's either going to run the entire race, no problem, no mistakes like unlike last year, or he's just going to wreck and flip out of this thing. Like there's no in between. It's the duality of Larson. I love it. And I wish him safety in all of it. I don't want to see him wreck. I'm just saying the duality of Kyle Larson says that you're probably going to have something like that. And screw Mother Nature. I don't want to see any damn rain at either of those friggin' tracks. I want a clean, green, and dry race day in every way. And yes, I totally agree with you here. But I'll just say too, I think the racing is going to be really fun next week because I do think that Charlotte's really good with this car. I think the broadcast will be a lot of fun, a lot of new things. That'll probably be, stuff going on, pretty good. I know they're going to be mostly side by side. Let's see. They're scheduled for rain for the 600, but that's the thing. It's a week away, right? You really don't worry until Thursday, Friday. And even then it can still change. So we'll see. Knock on wood. We don't have like tornado issues and crap. I know we've been looking at that and I hope everyone's safe out there this week with that. Yeah, Mother Nature is sitting there like, hey, but you know what? I'm not going to let it damper my spirits tonight. We'll get to that bridge when we get there, rain or shine. I personally had a lot of fun with it tonight. I don't know, it wasn't an all timer. No, but after the doldrum of a spring we've had with just terrible racing, I will take a fun finish with a kind of middle of the road rest of the race. It's an all-star race, so it's fun. You want that to be fun at the end. I will take that. I am not going to sit here and complain after we've been wishing for good or fun short track finishes and racing in particular. I'm not going to sit here and just complain to complain, right? I have little nitpicks here and there, and I can talk about those through the week. I'll talk about the Fox one on Tuesday. I'll talk more about the race and like more clear thoughts tomorrow in a video. Wednesday, I think I'll talk about Prime a little bit because there's some stuff to break down there. And then Thursday, just keep an eye out. It'll just be a mystery video or something fun like that. If it's weird upload times, it's probably because I'm just like pressing upload and just not looking at anything. Just because I'd like to enjoy some time with my kid before I have to start streaming and videoing and all the jazz. And I appreciate everyone's support. And no, we'll not be doing stuff from the hospital. By the way, yeah, Cletus will be in the ARCA, not the All-Star race, the ARCA race. So hell yeah. And yes, I'll say this. I won't complain about it, but SVG's crew chief, man, that 88 was hooked up until that problem. And yes, Carl Edwards is back next week too. It's not just Dale Jr. But I'll say this. I will not be posting anything about the kid online other than maybe just like, hey, it happened. I will not say her name. I'm just going to be we're going to be very private with that. And I appreciate everyone's, compliance with that, I guess is the right way of just being cool with that. I'll talk about how happy I am. I'll probably be like grinning ear to ear, like this big dumb idiot that I am. I will have a lot. Yeah. Daniel Trotta is going to be on too. There will not be any appearances of the little ice cube, I guess. Ice tip of the iceberg. I don't know what your nickname for will be. Little Iceberg. There'll be no appearances on camera. Would like to wait until the kid can talk to say whether or not she wants to be online in front of, probably at that point after the 600, over 1,000 people. Ice cube mini berg. I like that mini berg there. Absolutely love that. But hey, ice chip. Either way, we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be a big week in so many ways. We got tons of awesome stuff racing wise. So definitely tune on in for pre-race or post-race, I should say, post-race for trucks, post-race for Xfinity this week, NWP on Danny's channel more than likely Thursday, pre-race for the 600 that's going to be after Indy, so kind of a pseudo Indy 500 post-race, and post-race for the 600 for sure. There'll be plenty of stuff, plenty of motorsports talk through this week, and we just got to get on there. Snowball. Name won't be public. I'll just keep that. I want Slap shoes back. Maybe Slap. We got it. Slap has, I'd like Slap to get off his hiatus because I want to watch it. I want to watch a Slap video soon. There's got to be some crazy thing that he's working on. I know him. There has to be. Your house can be the ice tray. I like that one too. That's pretty good. This is what I love about being able to show your guys' comments on the screen, right? I love showing your guys' comments on the screen just because I get to see these funny ass ones. Let's get into the super chats while I'm thinking of it, just so that I don't leave a lot of you guys who probably left them a half hour ago hanging. How many were up before we went live? I apologize. YouTube resets these. I see. Where is Slap? I don't know. Maybe he's back in Japan again. I don't know. He really liked it out there. All right. First one from Blake for the 2 says drop flag equals Mikey drop. Fun race. Yeah, it was fun. I thought it was fun. And that's the big part. We want to have fun. Bobby Blair for the 2 says we survived Fox 2025. Bring on Dale Jr. in prime. Yeah, I'm so excited. Dale's back. I got my Dale shirt on and everything. Snappy for the 5 says, imagine 400 laps in a points race here with these guys hip checking each other. Patience would wear thin quickly. Points race now. Yeah, not happy with Fox either. Thank God we don't. All we have to deal with Fox is with the truck series. And we actually have 2 more big Fox races up on the truck side. AJT 3.7 for the 5 says 400 lap points race and cut the all-star crap out. This track is the diamond in the rough of the Gen 7 short track racing. Sad thing, I don't know if it's going to be like it's the greatest race. It might not be the greatest race. It might be just a fun one, but I'll take fun. Soupy Spirit with the 20 says best short track race in years, but I know the old Reddit take will be more horsepower. Short tracks have always been difficult to pass. Been that way since the Gen 4. Honestly, it's been that way forever. To quote Kyle Busch, if you don't enjoy that, don't even watch. I'll say this. We do need more horsepower. I think 750 really isn't even enough. 800 isn't enough. Honestly, I think we need to just let them roar. Restore the roar of the engines. But I will say, I think that is something that needs to be on the agenda. I think it should get a points race. I agree with you guys on that. I do agree with you guys. It should get a points race. But I don't know if it'll put on like bangers like the finish tonight that we got. I would temper the expectations a little. Tonight, to me, overall, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 race. I thought it was a good race. I really did. Do I think let me see what the poll is looking like right now. I think we have like 2.1 thousand votes in, and we're looking at around a high 80s in the positivity range. Do I think it was a 9 out of 10 or an 8.5 out of 10 or anywhere close to that? No, I don't. Do I think though that it was good? Yeah. I mean, there was passing. It was difficult to pass, especially up front. Part of that too is Logano had the best car tonight. Let's be honest. Logano had the best car. Bell was a close second. You get the tire advantage to Bell compared to Logano. It's going to end up being the way it ended up. But that's the thing, that there was an ability to have a tire advantage, which is something that we haven't seen at a lot of short tracks. And that's something that I think we need to glean here. And that's a positive thing to look at. We've had so many issues the last couple weeks of, short tracks, I should say, of tires not mattering or not mattering enough. Now they matter. That's what we want. And it's a step in the right direction, and it needs to be praised. We complain a lot about the way that this stuff is. We got to praise the stuff that we want to see. Chris for the 2 says, man, that Allgaier guy in the 5 drives like Larson. Yeah. Mike Paul says, does that ring the bell? It's a lot of bells. Yeah, ring the bells. We might end tonight with me just having you guys just spam bells as we head on out, because it is the night of the bell. Gooby's Fun Zone for the 2 says, was it Larson or Allgaier that hit the wall? It was Larson. And as soon as it happened, I'm like, I knew it. I knew that would happen. I see David Bell just left one. We'll get to David Bell in a moment, but congratulations. Ibolt says the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro being better than Kansas and Darlington was certainly not on my bingo card this year. Neither here. I hope the playoff races for both are better. I think Kansas wasn't as terrible as a lot of people said, but it was not as good. It was definitely the worst Kansas race. Do I think it was my poll had it, I think 12th of 13, only better than that really crappy 551. Do I think it was that bad? No, I think it was better than most of the 550 races there. But we as fans have been pushed down and just bashed across the head over and over again with terrible racing. And basically people, on the NASCAR side being like, shut up. The racing's good. You don't know what you're looking at. I think to have something that we can all rally around tonight, to me, that is exactly what the doctor ordered for us. Heading into a new broadcast partner, I implore you, if you know someone with Prime, mooch off theirs. If you don't have it, I think you should watch the 600 for reasons other than it's just a crown jewel. You should watch it to see like what the future of NASCAR broadcasting looks like, and how more in depth they will go. Let's see. Dan Miller with the 2 says, Joey being a little whiny fairy as usual. But it's just short track racing. All right. It's just short track racing. I don't blame him for being pissed. I get it. $1 million isn't what it used to be in 2003 when they started doing this. But it's still $1 million. And I'd be pissed losing it, especially after dominating the night. But at the same time, Joey, it's just short track racing. That one, Denny's, it's just short track racing. That needs to be a sounder for us to use. I get it. I get why he's pissed, but it's funny to hear him complain. Steven for the 2 says, any race at North Wilkesboro is a good race. You know what? After the hell it took to get that track back, I can't help but kind of agree. It is proof of how far NASCAR has come in so many ways, and SMI, and I'll say this, kind of going back to the money discussion with the All-Star race. There was talk earlier in the weekend. Drivers had talked about that we need to get more money as the incentive to win the race. And the number they were looking at is $3 million. I noticed some people in my comments and some people had tweeted at me or DM me being like, $1 million's enough. Stop complaining. The drivers don't really care. I was right. I was almost right about Joey winning tonight. I was 10 laps away from getting that one. And I was Lane Riggs not overdriving it away from, if Lane Riggs doesn't overdrive it and Joey Logano pits at the end there, I sweep the weekend. So, damn. Let's see what else we got here. Andrew says, low cow of the week, Jacob Abel from IndyCar. See, that's the thing. I have not paid attention to anything IndyCar this week, so I don't know what you're talking about. And then Isaac, thank you for the 2, says, I put David Land's predictions in the poll comments. Thank you. I will remind David this week. Even if he's not on the show, I will remind him, and we will publicly either praise or shame in our accountability session. Sly Supersonic with the 5 out of 10 says, I'm not impressed. If it wasn't for the promoter's caution, this race would have been a Logano train all the way. Track's good, car sucks. I will agree. Car is the issue in that side, so I'll agree there. But I'll say this, who cares if it's a promoter's caution? Because it is a gimmick race. This is like the one area of the sport where you will hear me go, screw it, I don't care about the gimmicks at this point. As long as it's not like that Texas All-Star race where you throw a where you throw a caution every like 10 or 15 laps and you have like 7 stages in it or something stupid like that. I really don't care what you do. That or moving the numbers back to the back wheel. That was stupid. And the underglow that just looked like there was a small fire under the cars. That was bad too. You know, like, yeah, I see a lot of people are agreeing. Like it's dumb, but it's the All-Star race. It's supposed to have dumb stuff. Marky Mark with the 2 says, goodbye, Fox. I agree. Goodbye, Fox. Thank God I don't want to see it come back. Don't let the door slam me on the way out. Cameron with the 5 says, thank goodness Fox is done. Can't wait for Prime and TNT. I think they're going to be really good based on their coverages of other sports. Yeah, NFL coverage, they like add advanced analytics on the screen during games. And if NASCAR can do that with how much of a push they've had with advanced analytics and statistics, I think that they can really make a great product. That they've Dale Jr. has been sharing on his Instagram story that they have a lot of practices where during races, they'll call the races like they're there. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I think they're going to hit the ground running and have a ton of fun and lead perfectly on in to the TNT portion of the year. I just noticed I have this, by the way. I think I've shown it before, but I'll take it out again if the plastic will allow me to. Come on. I swear, I have weird memorabilia, and then I can't get the damn stuff out. There we go. I've probably shown this before, so tell me to shut up if I have. But it's the 4-pack of the designs for the Dark Knight car that Dale Jr. ran at Michigan in 2012 when he won the race. This one being the actual design that from far away looks like a giant seagull pooped on it. Seriously, if you saw this from far away, you're not thinking Batman. Among some of the other ones, like a matte finished one, looks kind of the same. Doesn't have Bane or Batman on the side. They had a silver one that had all the green blacked out that could have ran with Bane on the hood, and all that. And then they had another one that was just plain black the whole way. Now you can't see it on the camera, but there's actually little gray Mountain Dew mountains on there. And then Batman is on the hood. And what they did is before this race, I think a couple months before, they put it on social media. I'm going to put this aside so it stops making noise. They put it on social media. And they had it, I think, on Hendrick or DaleJr.com, one or the other. And they had fans vote on which one. And thank God they chose the best one with Batman on the side. Thought I'd share that. I've been I've been unpacking stuff on the move, so there's that. Get gloves on. Why? Wait, what? Is it the Batman gloves? The skeleton gloves? Let's see. West Virginia says, screw it. Make the All-Star race a points race. Award $3 million instead of 1 and make it 400 miles because the track is great. The track is great. We can improve the car. I think we'll see some absolutely great racing. Much needed great racing. Michael Waltrip says, hey, how'd y'all like my job? The flag drop 10 out of 10. I guarantee you that was planned. Guarantee you. The Sonic 24 for the 5 says, we need what we had today for Richmond and Martinsville. Sadly, Bristol is still broken because it's baffling. Because of it bafflingly uses the intermediate package. Fair. And Richmond has had some, people forget that Richmond race last year before the Austin Dillon BS finish was actually a lot of fun. It really was. 400 miles, so 800 laps. I think it's close, probably closer to 700. Yeah, I mean, the Richmond and Martinsville races last year weren't terrible. Martinsville this year was. But I would love to see something closer to this. Just keep moving in that direction. I want to see actual movement there. West Virginia with another 10 says also with all of the Fox interviews, they keep asking drivers if they want a point state. Maybe NASCAR is trying to get an idea of what the fans and drivers think of a point state here. That's what I'm saying, man. I really think they're going to have it next year. They would not be name dropping it. And I think it'll be on the Fox portion of the schedule. There's no way it wouldn't with Fox promoting it that much. I really think it's happening next year. And if not next year, definitely the year after. Hunter Nixon Fishing with the 5 says, Joey whining about being used up by C. Bell. What a hypocrite. Yeah, it is kind of funny when Joey complains about it. It's just short track racing. 3 here, it says, no shifting tonight. That's part of the short track. Is that part of the short track puzzle? This was a great race out of nowhere. That might be part of it, man. That might be part of it. iLobo Gaming for the 2 says, well, I mean, the shifting part would be part of it. That would definitely be part of it. But if that was fully the case, then yeah, that would probably be part of it. And a big part of that. Says for the 2, though, July 4th weekend at North Wilkesboro, mark it down. I don't know if they do Wilkesboro July 4th, but I could totally see it being around where Darlington and Martinsville are now. At Martin Fan for Life for the 5 says, greatest race in spite of Fox. It will be a points race, and Rockingham becomes the new all-star race. That's probably the most logical thing that'll happen. So here's the question, right? Because this is an SMI date, and a points date would more than likely be an SMI date on the schedule taken off. What track or race gets taken off the schedule from SMI? Because I think that's the real question here. What track could NASCAR take off from SMI? Would it be the leasing out COTA? I don't want that because I think COTA actually put some pretty good racing. Would it be Bristol Spring? I get that the racing isn't good, but the ratings for Bristol will always be higher than Wilkesboro. And instead of 22,000 people, a bad Bristol race has 60,000. That's a lot of money. I get attendance doesn't mean that much, but when you can fit 3 of the crowds in here today and Bristol still looks half empty, that's a lot of money to be leaving on the table. It's not going to be Texas. That's a 1-date track. No, it's not going to be Texas. I'm just telling you now, it will not be Texas. Because that race is at least better than a lot of those, a lot of the other short track races and other races, and it brings in a lot of money. And there's around 100,000 people showing up to that race in the big 2025. The Roval, I don't think they take a Charlotte date away. That is a jewel of SMI. And let's face it, Wilkesboro isn't. So do they take an independent date? Do they take COTA? If they take Bristol Spring, so be it. The track sucks now, and I'd rather we not just denigrate it further. But I don't think it moves into the playoffs either. I really don't. So that's gonna be interesting through the week. I don't think it takes Atlanta. I'd be fine with Vegas to 1 because I really think Vegas is kind of overrated personally. The racing has been the lower end of the 1.5 miles. I hope it's not COTA. I will say this. I am banging my hand on the table. Do not take COTA. Rowdy 8 for the 5 says, it's ironic Joey Logano saying he doesn't like gimmicks considering how he's won his 3 championships. So hypocritical since he would do way worse. Roles flipped. Yeah, it is kind of funny because I do think this championship is a gimmick. There's a reason that they have a whole committee that is dedicated to changing it. There you go. Take that off the bingo card list. You got Jarrett to complain about the playoffs. So, hang the banner. Robbie here with the 5 says this track is going to be the Auto Club replacement, isn't it? Replacement, isn't it? I think you meant to say it once. Ironic, Fontana replaced North Wilkesboro in 97. Snappy here says seeing IndyCar fans bitch about Fox was cathartic. Yeah, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse, y'all. Jake here with the 5 says, I wasn't sure if you meant the Gen Z slang term or literally crash when you said crash out. Sorry. I meant literal. God, where that muddies the water so much more than it should. Let's see. Steve-O with the 10 says, with all the wrecking going on this week at Indy, I'm actually nervous about the 500. That new hybrid is causing havoc. I agree with Ice. Kyle's going to go for the trifecta. Paradox says for the 5, I enjoyed the race, but we all know people would be crying if Logano won the race. Yeah, I wouldn't because I picked him in bragging rights, but yeah, I get it. David Bell says, remove the underbody and diffuser. Best all-star race. And for that, I think it's perfect to just ring the bell. Isaac here says we already had a promoter's caution, the debris caution, or stage cautions. West Virginia says short track for a short track Bristol date to North Wilkesboro. That would be, yeah. Is Junior's happy on Twitter? Let me see what old Dale's saying. Then we'll head on out. We'll be live this week on let's see. Oh damn. Okay, real quick. Tune on in to when he puts it up to Eric's post race. I won't spoil what's going on unless he's tweeted about it. But there might be something in there if he keeps it in that would be very interesting if you know what's going on around Texas right now. Just want to say that right now. I just looked in our NWP chat and saw that. I'm like, damn, what's Dale saying here? I love this racetrack. Really glad we got it back. Is he replying to a bunch of people too? No, but he's having fun. Dale can take the victory lap. He led the resurgence of this track. He deserves every bit of a victory lap that he wants. We will be live more than likely Thursday, maybe Wednesday if things turn out, but probably Thursday on NWP for Danny B's channel with David Land. Should be a lot of fun. And then live Friday, Saturday, Sunday after all the Charlotte races, pre-race for the 600. Big week ahead of us. Plenty of fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for enjoying the Sunday night and having fun on Sunday night with me. I appreciate Eric here saying Joe Logano crying, but has more money than Bell's minimum wage minimum wage. Yeah. But thank you guys so much for spending your Sunday night with me. I appreciate it a ton. Enjoy the rest of it. I will see you this week. It's going to be a long week. Going to be a fun week. Going to be a big week. Have a good one, y'all. Later.